keep me running from the shadow of my life, like a gypsy who is never satisfied. Once you compromise your soul, you spend a lifetime dodging.
Good morning. It's Friday. Friday the 8th of July. I believe. It is a little past 6, quarter after 6. Starting out here. Not going very far today, just maybe a couple miles, if even that. Just to get out and stretch the legs a little bit and get them warmed up and stretch them. Probably try to do something further tomorrow morning. But it is supposed to be nice and warm and humid today. Thankfully, they're predicting this long heat wave. And it's hot enough, but they scaled the temperatures back a few degrees, so that's all right. I think initially it's supposed to be 93 yesterday and 97 today. And I think they scaled it back to 89 both days. It is pretty muggy. There was a threat of rain yesterday, but nothing really came. At least not in our area. So I apologize. I'm going to be a little more traffic-y today. Not avoiding those traffic spots and actually going along ones that are pretty busy this time of the morning. We shall see. So a week from tomorrow, the 16th, got a busy day. It's a busy day. Starts really early in the morning, around 1:30. And it leaves for the Yukon. And has to meet at the church at 2 a.m. And then they drive to Philly International to arrive by 3 for a 6:10 or 6:30 flight. And we were asked to do the driving. It's like, no thanks. We did this last year, but not so early. Where I drove the crew down to the airport, and then Margie picked them up on the return trip. So there's two things. One is, I'm not really crazy about driving to Philly in the middle of the night. But on the other hand, still need to drive Anna down to the church, the meeting spot. So the thinking is kind of, what's another 2 hours? Driving down, dropping off, and coming back. And that's the other part. There is a local 5K that I've been considering. And that's at 7 a.m. on Saturday. So if I'm awake for a couple of hours, I don't get back to bed till, let's say, 4:30 or 5. It just doesn't seem like it'll work. So I haven't made a commitment to anything yet for that reason. Then another part of the day is there's a big family picnic on my wife's mother's side of the family. And the location is the same as our Christmas party last year. But we haven't made a decision there either. So we've got decisions we need to nail down this weekend. I had $20 in my pocket for an entry fee for the 5K. Alas, that $20 is mostly spent. I'll be getting some of it back today, in a sense. Because it would be nice to pay for that without having to touch our bank balance, which is very low. And we just got a 7-month bill for piano lessons. So our piano teacher for Anna, morning, once upon a time was very strict about paying monthly. But she has been lax. Good morning to you. Alright, it's busy just where I was predicting. So that lax approach to billing hits you like a wallop. Suddenly we've got over $500 due. Yikes. So we just, anyway, it's a tight time. Another 5K that has a reduced price, 50%, is for the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. We ran that in November last year. Raising money on behalf of our friend Jim Crook, who we weren't sure was going to make it alive to that day, and he is still still around, still active. Now he's not well, so he's had 6 more months than they expected, but I'm trying to figure out where I am. I'm on Route 212. Just passed by Erie. 212 is also Hellertown Avenue. So I'll turn left on Mill Street. Head to the library, hang a left, start heading back. It's already going longer than I intended now. Oh well. Yeah, I have an early morning on Fridays. Report to work at 8. So I don't want to be out too long. So I can do a post stretch. Oh, let's see. I always forget that. Oh, here we go again. I was running when I was supposed to be walking. Oh well, I sure messed it up again. Just keeping the pace nice and pulled back. It's already over 70 degrees. Nice and humid. We'll do a quick check. 72 degrees and 90% humidity. Doesn't take much on the day to work up a sweat. I think it's called step outside and sweat. So Norm's doing his step outside and sweat. And in the evening or late afternoon, much rather do it in the morning. I don't know. If I were in better health, I guess I wouldn't mind it. We have our AC running because these muggy nights don't help rooms cool off. All right, well, let's see. I listened to a little bit of Norm yesterday, his ambling podcast. And so from that I gathered, Norm may not be hearing this one because he is listening to good spiritual nourishment or something, the way he put that. Preaching of C.H. Spurgeon, Prince of Preachers in the late 19th century London. and Martin Lloyd Jones. Another from the UK, and others. Morning.
Morning.
Yeah. I'm missing my sound cues for run walks, so I've been running a bit more. Let's see, what's the old heart rate says 137. So I'm already a minute and a half into my walking interval before slowing. Heart rate's at 136, so I may wait to run here for another minute, even though I just got the cue. I started this morning with earphones in so I could hear the cues nice and clear, but then I thought, oh, record something, and I can't do the two at the same time. Not like Carlos and Norm, who have their Sony recorders. I keep meaning to ask Wayne. He has a digital voice recorder somewhere. I think we got him and Mitchell those for Christmas, maybe 5 years ago, before Wayne heading off to college. So. And that was intense. Okay, there's my 2 minutes on my heart rate. 122. Not really resting, but we're going to gallop. We'll lope here a little. Purple rims on a gray car. Alright, we're on 4th Street, approaching Broad Street, 313, and there's a Sunoco station on the left. Crossing over at the old Quakertown Borough Hall building, which is now Geno Hair and Nail Spa. And then the QNB, Quakertown National Bank front. Ooh, there's a sign for something this Saturday. Park at 4th. Founders Day concert, July 13th, 7 to 9 p.m. Is that the Quakertown Band? Alright, just heard the cue to walk. So we'll take it for 2 minutes. Passing by Carlton Cafe. They've got all of their tables and umbrellas for your outdoor dining pleasure. A yellow jacket trap hanging outside of Rosemarie's water ice. Oh yeah, yellow jackets love sugar water. I'm going to turn right here, hang a right here on 3rd Street. Instead of going down to the corner and turning right at the Bush House Hotel. All right, a minute of walking and the heart rate's down to 119. All right, that's in the right direction. I think the good thing is, I think I am able to sustain a higher heart rate, not ridiculous, but higher heart rate for a longer period of time without ill effects. And that is the whole point, I think. So I was noticing yesterday, listening to Kevin, I was just listening all over the place. A little Carlos, a little Norm.
2 miles.
Jim, I owe you. Kevin was doing a miracle mile. He's trying to hit a 2:30 pace for 4 track rounds. Now, okay, there we go. I was noticing as he gave his times how not out of breath he was until maybe the last. And I thought, well done. A quarter mile at a 2:30 pace. I know that's not, Olympic trial, but still, I think even at an easy pace, it sounded really good. Now, here's a question for you. "400 meters is a few feet shy of a quarter mile. I don't know, it's like 12 feet. So I will ask the kids who say they're entered into the mile race and they run 1,600 meters. It's not exactly the same. So their times for the mile, quote unquote, sounds a little better. Now I noticed that my high school track is gone and they are rebuilding a sports complex. I'm sure our quarter mile track from the late 70s will be converted to a 400 meter track. So we ran 440s and 880s and 1320s in the miles and 220s, 110 high hurdles, 330 low hurdles, which are now 100 meter high hurdles and 300 low hurdles. Not a huge difference, but when you're measuring school records, that makes a difference. Okay, we're in Park and 2nd Avenue, approaching the, is it Park Avenue Apartments? a little bit of air in the belly. Anna brought back to me 250 grams, I think, of coffee from Heidelberg.
In 1 minute you've been running for half an hour.
I got a little less than a mile to go here, I think. It depends if, I forget how the parking, I can't remember if I go straight out of my house and don't go through the Q-Mart parking lot, if the mile mark is just past the Park Avenue apartments. So anyway, about a mile to go. It says I've been out for a half an hour already. And the time is 6:42. Got my Fitbit all nice and charged overnight. So did not track my sleep, which was not as good as yesterday, but better than the night before.
You've been running for half an hour.
I think I need to turn off my auto pause for, I think it is Runkeeper. It goes on and off regardless of whether I'm pausing. And Carlos was mentioning something to me about the differences in the paces from one app to the other, having to do with the auto pause. He also asked me about a hat, because I am fair-skinned. I know Jim is making sure folks are sunscreening. I'm not in the sun much because I'm running while I'm running. So I think the only sun I really get is when I am intentionally getting sun. So I may go out for 20 minutes just to pick up some vitamin D help. And then cover up. Good morning to you. Didn't mean to startle you.
That's okay.
Crossing the creek. Which is starting to decline back over onto Station Road. Oh yeah, just heard the buzzer. Yikes. Noisy truck. not loud enough when there's a lot of traffic noise. So I was watching for it. Let's see. Passing by a little development on the right. Some nice white pines and some, I'd say more of a fir tree, shorter needles, or spruce. Not sure which. And my mind escapes me as to the name of the development. Rats. It's not Morgan Creek. I was trying to... Oh, Beaver Run. That's right. So the creek I had gone over was Beaver Run. There's a little stone just up out of the water, and I think on Monday I noticed a little turtle sitting atop. But now with the water level declining, a little more of the stone is exposed. Unless we get some rain. Again, there is a chance today, but we'll see. I really should be out in the garden watering. So I think when I get home from work today, I will do just that. It's half day Friday. So we will plan that. Get some water to our cucumbers and peppers and tomatoes. Because they are wanting to grow in this heat. So I seem to have my wife, with her good eyes, she found the spot that the groundhog was getting in after blocking the other two digging sites. And for those two areas, I put down, a chunk of rock. I mean, a chunk to block that, and of course a groundhog could easily dig under a chunk of rock. Well, the other entrance was on the opposite side of the garden. No digging. There was just a little bit of the fence pulled up. So I grabbed underneath there and pulled it back down, found a stake, so that way fencing should stay down, and then placed a 5-gallon bucket. And ever since then, the groundhog has not been freeloading. Now, I still would like to get rid of that groundhog because it knows.
3 miles.
It knows there's a little plot of goodies. But I noticed that our tomatoes, plants that were pretty ravaged, are looking good. They're bouncing back. No fruit yet. The only thing we've harvested so far is zucchini, a cucumber, maybe, and some yellow squash. All right, so that was my last running segment. Whew. So we've gone a little over 3 miles. Yeah, maybe a mile longer than my intentions. Well, here's something I know. So let's say I enter this 5K for next Saturday. I'm doing an interval so that way I don't blow a gasket. But if I run a little longer than the interval allows, let's say at the end, finish jogging rather than walking at the finish, I think I can do it. We shall see. All right. Back to our station road, and the commuter traffic has picked up a bit. I am feeling nice and sweaty. Maybe I need a headband. Yeah. Something to catch the sweat. I do have a baseball hat on, so Carlos was saying, due to my fair skin, should wear a hat. I'm using it more like a headband. It's like I think it keeps the sweat from coming down my eyes so quickly. I think eventually it would, but so far, not so. All right, well, with the noise of traffic, I am going to do my sign-off and then catch up to you another time. Maybe not tomorrow. Just get out there and have a good run without a recording. So, a good weekend, everybody.